Let's go to the City of Angels and talk to Sarah. What's up, Sarah?
Hi. How are you?
Good. What are you doing?
I am just hanging out with my dog. He's choosing to be super restless right now, of course.
I like how you have personified that dog. Way to go.
Yeah.
He is making choices that are so good. All right, so what's up?
I'm calling because I've had a lot of thoughts about this thing in my life, and I feel like when I found your show, I thought you'd be a good person to ask. And so my thing is, I feel like I'm having a lot of trouble coping with my singleness.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just looking for maybe some new perspectives, some advice or something.
Tell me about it.
So I've been single now for 6 years. I'm 34. And basically the whole time I've been dating. And that's like online dating through friends, people I just meet out, just, different places. And it's none of them have come to anything. And I mean, I'm talking like 80 dates over the years, like 100. I've lost count. And I feel like I'm starting, I really want a family. I really want kids. And as the years are like going by, I feel like I'm mourning something that I haven't even lost yet,
Yeah, no, you have. I think grief is perfect right now. Mm-hmm. The thing you don't have is this picture that you had created for your life.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's I think we all do that, where they're like, I'm going to make $100,000 by the time I'm 35, or I'm going to have 3 kids by the time I'm like, we create these pictures, and they kind of come from all over the place. Our experiences, what our dad said, our mom said, our friend said, and we create these pictures, and then you wake up and there's this little churn in your body that's trying to always solve for that picture that we got.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the anxiety alarms really just start ringing and louder. It's like, you're 33, you're 34, Sarah. And if you get pregnant at 35, they drag you into the geriatric wing, and they're like, all right, you're 1,000 years old now.
Yeah.
And right. So you have and that's nonsense, but you have all this undercurrent in your body is trying to solve for this picture you had. And the picture changed. And so I think it's really important to sit down and own that reality, right? Just choose reality at this moment. I wanted to be married. I wanted to be in a long-term relationship. I wanted to have 1 kid and another on the way. And I don't. I think that's important.
Mm-hmm.
Is that scary?
I mean, it is, but I think I think that's what's causing so much unhappiness with it.
It is.
It's so annoying because it's not conducive to actually meet anyone, because you feel worse about yourself. I don't want to come off as desperate,
And then you start overthinking it. That's what anxiety is the worst, man. It just spins on itself.
And I have anxiety issues.
Of course.
So for the last 1.5 years, I started taking Lexapro, and it has helped. I mean, it's night and day. It's so much better, but it's always still there, and it's always something I have to work on and be aware of. And so when it's
So what most medications do, and I don't know how long you've been around the show, but most medications turn the alarms way down.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it like your kitchen's on fire, it turns the smoke alarm way down. It does not put the fire out in the building.
Right. Yeah.
And so it does allow you to think and to move and to actually go talk to a counselor and to get back with your friends and start getting back to, okay, I can function now, but we have to function in creating a life that's not on fire, right?
Mhm.
And then over time, not every situation, but often the alarms go off because there's no more smoke because the fire's out. And then you got to figure out what the damage is and get that taken care of. And then you're on to the next. When you look back across 80 or 100 dates, if you had to just say one or two, like, this is why this isn't working, what would that be?
I feel like what would happen is it was always something like 3 to 5 dates. So it was always usually get past the first date most of the time. Second date, yeah, usually that was like, we have a good time. And then third date is when I get the, third, fourth, fifth. It's the, I feel like 9 times out of 10, it was them telling me that, you know, um, either they would tell me to my face, or I got the whole slew, or they would text me, or they would just stop talking to me, ghost me, whatever. One of those, but they would communicate like, I'm not interested anymore. And this only started happening like since my last relationship ended, I feel like I was in that relationship for 4 years. And before that, I feel like I didn't really have that much trouble, but
Why did that
the problem
relationship
was
end?
he cheated on me.
Okay.
So,
Hold on.
you
I want to
know,
sit there for a second. The worst part about somebody cheating on you, I think, is not that you feel duped and stupid and that you lose trust in somebody else. I think the most disorienting thing about somebody cheating on you is that you lose trust in you. How could this happen? How could I let this? How come I didn't see this? How could I create a world where he felt he had to, whatever? You start taking all of it. And people will lose the ability to take a firm step on the sidewalk in front of them because they've lost faith in themselves. They don't trust themselves anymore. And often healing is not finding a super trustworthy new partner. It's learning to trust yourself again.
and how do I do that?
You got to own the fact that somebody cheated on you. Sit in it for a minute and grieve it. Not just be pissed off and try to go like out and solve it. And, I'm going to. I am a good person. And yeah, I got duped. I did.
My worry, like I totally get what you're saying, and I think what I was like thinking about was that, or the thing I was worrying about, because I have so much anxiety all the time, that I am so hyper, like looking for anything, any sign to show that they will like be like my ex, that I feel like I'm
It's
maybe
a self-fulfilling
like,
prophecy.
yeah. And
Yes.
because, and I can't say that there were that many that I was like, oh man, that was really the love of my life that like got away or something, like, but I guess I'm just kind of like, is because people love to say like, oh, you attract a certain kind of person. So it's like this worry of like, oh, I'm attracting these people who actually are going to hurt me, or feel like they're going to hurt me. And
this
I gotta
is
bat them all away. And
this is you playing control defense after you got hurt. And the suckiest thing about healing from hurt in relationships is the only path forward is vulnerability. The only way you meet somebody who's going to be worth your time for the rest of your life is for you to make yourself vulnerable enough that they could hurt you again. And I know that sounds insane.
No, I get what you mean, and I think the problem with that is that as I've gotten older, like the way I meet people, like single people, is mostly online, because that's just the easiest. Like everyone's paired up. Like, the dating pool is much smaller, and I think
it feels that way. And loneliness, like the physiology of being lonely, not just romantically, but with friends too. And I'd be willing to bet you money that that's a part of this also. Is it literally narrows your vision of field to where you can only see caustic outcomes. It makes everything very, very scarce. And it makes you say things like everyone and always and never. That's what loneliness does, because your body recognizes when you're lonely, you're in danger of being dead. And that's ancient technology, right? It's old wiring. And that's why you're anxious all the time. And it sounds like if I let go right now, if I open my hands and just started hanging out with a bunch of girlfriends around the house, I started a bowling league, for God's sakes. I put the stupid phones away. Can we just do this? Is the app thing working?
No.
Okay. And so what if we just didn't do that for a minute?
Yeah, it's been on pause.
Okay,
sure.
Awesome. But did you fill it with something else? Did you start going to poetry readings or to gymnastics class or to jujitsu class or something? Did you put yourself in situations where you're going to have to be around new wackadoodle human beings?
Yeah. I do. I do try. And
give me an example. Because I don't believe you. Give me an example.
I joined the gym.
Oh my gosh. Have you seen people at Planet Fitness? Not in, like, I worked out at Planet Fitness. I know, but it's not like that. But people have the craziest workouts there. Listen, that's not a great place. That's where people go with their headphones on and they judge one another. I'm talking about a place where you have to interact with other people, be on the same team, with the same idea, be learning something new, growing together, that kind of thing.
In the past, I have, of course, tons of that. I think COVID has really thrown me off because there was a long period of time we weren't really allowed to do anything in groups.
Correct. Right.
And especially in LA, they really, like, things were closed or not functioning for a long time. Right. And so I think now, things are really starting to, like, open up again and people are meeting up again. But, that's why I stopped. And then it's like, yeah, you're right. I should
listen,
back in.
Real quick, Sarah, 1 year turned into 2 years and 2 years turned into 3 years. And now we're going on year 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been in LA and down by Hollywood. I've been in LA several times and it's wide open right now.
What do you mean?
Like you could go right now and sign up for anything you want to go sign up for.
Oh, right. You're right. Yeah.
But I want you to see the common denominator here. We're not going to sign up for a cooking class or jiu-jitsu class or Spanish lessons or poetry readings. And that it's just so we can try to meet somebody. What we're going to do is look in the mirror and say, I'm freaking Sarah and I'm 34 and I'm awesome. And I'm going to start doing things that I love with other people. And some of that's going to be uncomfortable. And some of that's going to be me getting out of the house. All of it's going to be me getting out of the house. I'm going to put the phones down for a bit. And I'm not saying, I know, man, I got family members who've been married because they met people online. I've got some of my best friends in the world. I'm not saying that's all bad and wrong. What I'm saying is in your case, it's not working. So let's try something else. And social anxiety, all the angst you'll feel, the only way to heal is through it. Even if you go see a counselor for it, it's gonna walk you through exposure therapy, limited doses until your body begins to realize I'm safe. And that guy cheated on me. 4 years I gave that guy, and I thought he was gonna be my forever guy, and he cheated on me, and now I don't even trust me. My body doesn't trust me. And we're going to slowly practice human relationships again by getting back with people. And it feels like I was saying earlier, if you take your hands off of the wheel, like I've got to be married now. Like my clock is ticking. It feels like if you open your hands and relax that feeling to, I'm just going to make Sarah the most awesome person who's ever lived. And I'm going to be generous and kind and fun. And I'm going to go do fun stuff. it feels like then I'm never going to meet the guy. But the data would say in your world, those other things haven't worked. So let's try something completely different that's going to create the life that Sarah wants to live at this point. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Can I tell you something? There's not something wrong with you. You're not all screwed up or broken or messed up or somehow dysfunctional. I'm sorry that guy hurt you.
I think the way I grew up, I think I think it was that thing I was attracted to someone who was gonna hurt me, and I ignored all the signs, and until it happened or I found out it happened, and so I feel like I already had trouble trusting myself, and then having that happen, it's I was already trying to repair something, and it just got more broken.
And you hear that line, it's not a line, it's actually true, that we marry our unfinished business.
Mm-hmm.
If we had a dad that doesn't talk to us, we're going to find a guy who doesn't talk to us so we can get that guy to talk to us, and so we can finally close that loop. The only problem is that guy doesn't talk to us either, and our bodies start hollering and screaming at us.
Mm-hmm.
So when you hear me say you have to practice something new, you've got to do something new, you have to teach your body over time. Dad didn't talk to me because something was wrong with him, not me. Dad would forget to pick me up at school, and I would sit out there until 5 or 6 o'clock at night because he was too busy, not because I was unworthy. And you've got to teach your body that your new relationships aren't for solving old wounds. They're for creating a life that you want to live moving forward. And when you can get there, it's a powerful, powerful reframing, physiologically, psychologically, spiritually, the whole kit and caboodle. And you can move forward in a whole new trajectory. So my challenge to you is this, Sarah. Don't give up on Sarah. Sarah's pretty awesome. Sarah's been through it. Sarah probably could spend some time with a counselor. I think that'd be important. Hang on the line. I'm going to send you a copy of Own Your Past, Change Your Future, my book. And it's just what I'm talking about here. This stuff happened. What are we going to do next? And then I want you to be serious about writing down, here's what I want in this next season. For 2023, I'm going to learn kickboxing. I'm going to learn, I don't know, how to roll sushi rolls. I don't know what you're going to do in Los Angeles, but I'm going to take a puppetry class, whatever. I'm going to do those things. And I'm going to become the best version of me I can be. And I'm going to open my hands up because that's the only way somebody else can slide their hand in and hold mine is if it's open, not if it's clenched up. And by the way, I threw some shade at 24 Hour Fitness or Planet Fitness, whichever one. I worked out there. It's fine. Those places are great. But dude, some of those workouts people are doing in there, incredible.